Okay guys, this is my 1050 points of 1000 Suns. Over here I have a Exalted Sorcerer. Beside over here I have an 8-man squad of rubrics, all just Inferno Bolters, and almost everything is Visivic. Beside this one, every aspiring has a Warp Flame pistol. Then I have here a second unit of rubrics, 10-man squad, Warp Flame pistol, Soul Reaper, Icon of Flame. Over there I have a Contemptor Dreadnought Hellforged with Multi-Melter and Claw. And over here I have 5 Terminators with Hellfire Missile Rack over here and Soul Reaper over here. So this is 1050 points of 1000 Suns.
Beautiful 1000 Suns army. And here's my 1050 point sister battle / Inquisition army. We're being led today by Celestine, the living saint herself. Over on the left we have a Order Hereticus Inquisitor who is psychically enabled. He has a Inferno pistol and power sword. And on the right is the Canoness. She has a power sword and an Inferno pistol as well. We have a squad of 10 Seraphim. The sergeant has a power sword and a plasma pistol, and then we have 2 girls with the Infernus pistols ×2 with them. In the back, we got 2 5-girl squads with multi-meltas. The sergeant has a chainsword and plasma pistol. So that's 1, 2. They're both riding in the vehicles with the flamers attached. And then I have 1 exorcist, and then a 3rd squad of just sisters. The sergeant has a Stormbolter, and the 2 girls in the back also have Stormbolters. This is a battalion formation, which will give me a total of 6 command points against Simon.
I just have 3 -1.
Yes, not very Zinchian of him, I would say. Well, let's get to deploy.
What is the location?
Okay, so the battle today is going to be Spoils of War. It's a Maelstrom mission where each player gets up to 3 cards per turn, and you can score your opponent's cards if it is a secure objective X. So the secondaries for this mission are Steal the Loot. The person who has the most secure objective tactical cards at the end of the game gets an additional point. Slay the Warlord, First Blood, and Linebreaker. As you can see, we're kind of a ruined city board. A lot of military buildings have survived. Both Simon and I have deployed our forces. So Simon, would you like to begin with, you had the first drop. So
yes.
If you'd like to begin with your forces and let us know what your warlord trait's going to be.
Okay, so first of all, I just lined up my smaller 8-man rubric over here in the ruins. The big rubric squad with 10 men with Soul Reaper and Icon of Flames over here. And behind this casters.
Yeah, casters works.
Casters is my Exalted with my Hellforged Contemptor Dreadnought, and my Warlord has the +1 ability for morale in 6 inches, I think.
Those are actually connexes full of red berets for the Imperial Guard, which we are here to defend. Okay, so on my left I have my Exorcist. Then I have my infantry fighting vehicle. The Canoness is in that one, along with the 5-girl squad with the 2 melta-guns. Over on the right is the Inquisitor with 5 girls, 2 of which have melta-guns. I have put my Seraphim, Celestine, who's my warlord, has +1 attack for her warlord trait, and a 5-girl squad back behind these ruins out of line of sight. So we can survive what will be, no doubt, a first turn onslaught by the 1000 Suns. So,
but I forgot to mention that my Terminators are in Deep Strike Reserve.
Oh yes, important. So, very quickly, I'll go ahead and try to steal the initiative, because I think that would be good. And then we can begin. So here we go. That's a 5. All right. So Simon,
you want to burn a command point?
I think that's one of the silliest things you can do with a command point, just to be upfront. So no, first turn to you, and we'll get on with the game.
Okay guys, turn 1, 1000 Suns. First of all, I draw 3 objectives. I have secure objective 6, which is over there. I'm not likely to get this one, so this is an easy point for Mike. Second objective is defend objective 3, it's over there. And the third objective is defend objective 1, which is over there. So the next thing is my psychic stuff. I have warp time and prescience, and of course smite on this guy. Aspiring has smite, and the other one has also smite. And the Terminator Sorcerer has also smite.
And your smite, if it's 10 or less, is 1 mortal wound, I believe. And if
Yes.
you roll 11 or 12, it's D3.
It's the small smite.
Okay, awesome. So Simon will start his movement phase.
So guys, this is movement turn 1 of the 1000 Suns. Actually, I just moved here all the units around here. This unit's advanced to get in range of this objective. They just went down from the building. Oh wait, this guy also. And my Terminators came from teleport strike over here 9 inches away from this exorcist. So now it's coming 1000 Suns, turn 1, Psychic Phase, my favorite one. This is 1000 Sun turn 1 Psychic Phase. I used the stratagem Chaos Familiar for 1 command point and replaced Smite of this Terminator for Warp Time. Also then casting Warp Time and making an additional move nearer to this exorcist. So this was my turn of Psychic Phase because everything else is not in Smite range or not in shooting range.
Simon is down to 1 command point.
Yes. 1000 Sun shooting phase is completed now. Actually just the Terminators were in range for shooting. Hellfire Missile unfortunately didn't hit. The Soul Reaper just hit 1 time, managed to take any wound on a armor save of 6. And 16 combi bolter shots into this exorcist also were taking 2 wounds, stripping off 2 wounds of him. So we're going now to Assault phase, 1000 Suns, turn 1.
You don't want to assault, do you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
1000 Suns Assault phase, turn 1. I managed to get inside to combat. Unfortunately, Overwatch took out 1 wound of my Terminators, hitting 2 times on a 6. And yes, of course I couldn't make the save, so fortunately just 1 wound, not D3.
I actually rolled double 1s to wound Simon, and I burned 1 of my command points because I wasn't going to let those 2 6s go to waste.
And yes, then in a combat phase I just managed to strip off 1 wound of this exercise, so yes. This is Assault phase, turn 1 of 1000 Suns, and now it's coming to Sisters of Battle.
So, no morale. There is some scoring though. That emulator right there scores objective number 6, which is a secure objective card. So right now the Sisters are up 1-0. So a solid start for the Sisters as I drew secure objective 6, which is what we scored at the bottom of Simon's turn 1. Defend objective 6. His guys are much too slow to make it over here. And then hold the line, which requires me to have 3 units in my deployment zone and no enemies in my deployment zone. Right now I'm looking at some pretty tough Terminators, of course. That one can't be scored in the first turn, so regardless, we'll be looking at that in the future, but not a bad start. Only other things I have to mention is Celestine is my Warlord. She has +1 attack. And my Inquisitor has Terrify. It's a psychic power. It's cast on a 6+. It reduces enemy morale by 1 and prevents them from shooting Overwatch. So, Sisters of Battle movement turn 1. Before the movement phase began, Celestine used her Act of Faith on the Seraphim and then rolled positively for hers. And so I moved all the jump infantry up 24 inches. I then moved this unit out of the ruins in order to make sure that I got objective 4 for the future. I got my Inquisitor out of the vehicle. He's joining that squad up there. And then the vehicle moved forward a little bit, making sure she's still in range of objective number 6 so we can secure and defend it. And then they pop smoke. Over here, I disengaged from the Terminators and advanced with the Exorcist, managed to roll a 6, so he went 18 inches in total, and he popped smoke as well. And then advanced with the Immolator Rolled a 3, but it'll be in range to use those flamers against those terrible, terrible Thousand Suns. So we'll be back with shooting in a little bit. So in the sister's first turn shooting phase, I'm realizing we both have pretty medium range armies. The Immolator was able to move up and flame that squad right there. Unfortunately, rolled 3 on my 2d6, wounded twice. Simon made both the saves, so now we'll move into the assault phase. So we decided not to assault anything, so we're going to score real quick. Simon scores...
Defend objective 1.
How many points is that worth, Simon?
2.
2 points. And I'm going to secure objective 6 again for my second point. So right now the score is 2-2, going to Thousand Suns, turn 2.
So before movement phase turn 2 Thousand Suns, I draw this 3 objectives. I discarded first defend objective 3. I got 2 times objective secure objective 5 and 1 time secure objective 4. Unfortunately, Mike has already their troops, so this is a easy point for Mike.
We'll see if he can't scramble over to objective number 5.
Thousand Suns turn 2 movement phase. Because of scoring twice objective 5, I advanced these guys over there, so I'm 3 inches of this objective. The rubrics over there, I just reshuffled them around, then getting a line of sight to this one. 2 can't shoot, but the rest can. The Dreadnought marched forward over there to get to this Immolator. Exalted is over here. And the Terminators up there moved up a bit there. So this was movement turn 2 Thousand Suns.
On to the psychic phase.
Psychic phase turn 2 of the Thousand Suns. First of all, I substituted with my last command point warp time from Exalted for Weaver of Fates, meaning that I can get, if I have an invulnerable save already on a unit, I improve it by 1, or if I don't have, I get a 5+. So next thing was the Icon of Flame managed to strip 1 wound over there with a roll of a 6. This Sorcerer smited also, getting an 11, meaning D3 mortal wounds, and destroying or killing 3 Seraphim. Then over there the Exalted casted Prescience on the Contemptor Dreadnought, and of course this +1 on the invulnerable save. And over there the Terminators managed to get warp time again with 11, which Mike couldn't deny. And of course this Sorcerer also managed to strip 1 wound out of this Exorcist over there.
So all in all, I think you'd call that a very successful psychic phase.
Oh yeah, this is how Zinch love it.
All right, on to the shooting phase.
Hey guys, so this is Thousand Suns turn 2 shooting phase. The whole fire of the Terminators over there without the Hellfire missile rack, and 4 Rubric Marines over here killed I think 5 Seraphim, because 3 already were dead by Smite. Then the Hellfire missile rack tried to manage to get, I think, 1 wound.
1 hit and 2 wounds.
2 wounds away. And the combined firepower of Soul Reapers and Inferno Bolter stripped here, I think, 1 wound away. But then the Multi-Melter hit on a 2, wounded, and managed to make 3 damage. So yeah, that was shooting for Thousand Suns turn 2.
So both these vehicles are at reduced profiles now after damage taken.
Turn 2 assault phase. I assaulted with my Dreadnought Dreadnought Contemptor over here, and with my Terminators. Overwatch didn't do anything, just here 1 wound, which I saved. This Dreadnought had, I think, 4 wounds. You saved none, so it was just actually 1 hit at the Immolator. The Terminators also reached in combat or in assault barely, piled in, and managed to strip off 2 wounds. So this is assault phase, turn 2, Thousand Suns.
So next up is morale and scoring. Okay, for the Sisters morale phase, they lost 8 Seraphim. I opted to use 2 command points so they don't have to test. And then these girls over here lost 2. Their leadership is 8 with the sergeant, so they don't have to test. They can't possibly lose anything. So scoring.
Scoring, I scored 2 times objective 5. And of course, because I destroyed the emulator, I got first blood. So having now 4 points to your...
Well, I scored defend objective 6 with my emulator back there. And I also secured objective 4. So that's going to give me a total of 5 points at this point.
So 5-4.
Very close.
Very close.
See if I can recover. So the Sisters decided to keep hold the line for later turns. We drew Blood and Guts, which is destroy somebody in the fight phase for 1 point or destroy a lot of people in the fight phase for 3. And then behind enemy lines, which requires me to get 1 unit completely into Simon's deployment zone. So we'll see how we do. Movement phase coming up next. Okay, before the Sisters movement phase, I used an Act of Faith to bring back one of my Seraphim with the 2 Inferno pistols. And then Celestine moved once, and now she's moved twice. She's looking at Simon's Warlord. And then I disembarked the 5 girls out of that emulator to surround these Terminators. I moved this out of combat to kind of block a little bit. That Dreadnought's going to be dangerous. And then consolidated the Canoness and the girls that were with her around the Terminator. So hopefully we're going to destroy all these Terminators this turn with some good shooting. But first, Psychic phase. Okay, in the Sister Psychic phase, the Inquisitor managed to cast Smite off with a 7. Simon rolled a deny. He also rolled a 7. Since it didn't beat me, I was able to get 2 wounds through, destroying one of the Terminators and putting a wound on the second one. So now on to the shooting phase. Having surrounded the Terminators, we unloaded with a bunch of Melta and Infernus pistols and managed to destroy all 5 of them. Also playing a part with this emulator, actually did 3 wounds to him after Simon failed 3 out of 6 saves, 1 up save, so it was very helpful. That allowed this squad right here to focus fire on the Dreadnought. They hit once. I used the command point to, they hit twice actually. I used the command point to reroll 1 of the wounds but failed. So only 1 went through. Simon rolled 3 on a save, and then I did for my d6 2 points of damage. Unfortunately, I wasn't in close range to do more than that. So overall, a successful shooting round. That's kind of what we want to do, and we didn't achieve any objectives there yet. But Celestine is about to face off with Simon's Warlord. Her Ardent Blade did not do anything in shooting, but we can see what it does in close assault. In the Sisters Assault phase, the Saint has done well. Obviously making her charge. Simon did hit her with the pistol, but failed the wound. And when she got in there, she had 7 attacks because of Warlord trait. She hit 7 times, wounded 7 times, and unfortunately it was just a bit too much for Simon's Warlord. So we have killed him and slayed the Warlord. That also got us Blood and Guts. And when she charged in, she rolled well enough that she was able to draw in the 1,000 Suns with her consolidation move into the Warlord. So they came back. They did manage to do 1 point of damage on her. They're probably going to move away from her lest they face their own destruction. But overall, very successful. It's a very close game right now as we go to 1,000 Suns turn 3.
Round 3, 1,000 Suns movement and objective phase, let's say it this way. I draw Overwhelming Firepower, Secure Objective 2, and Psychological Warfare. In the end, I fall back with this guys. This rubrics just got nearer to the Corpse Bride.
The Living Saint.
The Corpse Bride. And the Dreadnought went 9 inches towards this emulator over there. So this is my movement. Now Psychic phase.
The Living Saint.
Psychic phase turn to 1,000 Suns. I managed to smite the Living Saint over here. He couldn't...
Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride, yes. Deny it. This Aspiring Sorcerer over here, where the green markers also managed with perils, meaning he's dead and the 3 mortal wounds on the squad. So he just blow him up and 3 more rubrics. That's a little bit unfortunate, Zinch.
That's Zinch for you. So on to the shooting phase.
Shooting turn 3,000 Suns. Unfortunately, I just could stripe away 1 additional wound with Rapid Fire Bolter into the corpse sprite. The combi bolter of the Contemptor Dreadnought killed one of these bolter babes over there. Unfortunately, Multi-Melter didn't hit the exercise, but did manage to wound him. Yeah, it was all shooting what I have.
On to the assault phase.
Assault phase, Thousand Suns, turn 3. Despite Overwatch, 4 hits, not wounding. The Dreadnought Contemptor managed to get into assault, stripping away 6 wounds out of his immolator, so he's down to 4. So that was actually over there. In the moral phase, the decimated rubrics had to take a moral check, and they passed it with a 1, so they are good.
Okay, and no cards were scored by either side, so we go to the sisters' turn 3. Okay, so before the sisters' movement phase, Celestine used her Act of Faith to go ahead and flame that squad on the left, but to no effect, rolling a 1. Flamers are just rolling low. And then the second Act of Faith I used to bring another Seraphim back, because by God, I love those women. As far as the objectives, I went ahead and kept the 2 that I had, which of course were hold the line and behind enemy lines. I think I can score those in this game. And then I drew advance, which means I gotta get everyone out of my deployment zone. So as the preferred enemies might say, we're playing Drunken Commander. We'll go ahead and movement phase next. Okay, so turn 3 for Sisters of Battle, the movement. We're focused on getting hold the line, so to that effect, I went ahead and moved the squad back here, and they also secured Objective 2, which was one of Simon's cards. The Canoness is there by the Bastion, and I got a small squad there, so I got 3 squads within my deployment zone, and none of Simon's. I think his Contemptor is probably going to be able to destroy that Immolator, so I moved my Dreadnought there, so if he does consolidate, he'll have to consolidate towards my Inquisitor. Bold move by the Inquisitor for sure, but it'll be worth it to score the point. And then over here, I got my 4 Seraphim hiding behind the church. Seems appropriate with the Exorcist on its last leg, but maybe be able to do some damage. I've sealed that portion off for them. And lastly, Celestine is being sneaky and jumped over these 4 Rubric Marines. I think you know what's coming there. So, on to the Psychic phase for Sisters of Battle. My favorite Inquisitor managed to cast Smite, rolling a 6, but this guy right here one-upped him, rolled a 9, and denied a Smite. So, not much going for my Psychic phase. My Inquisitor is mostly there for Psychic defense. He hasn't been helping much, but I still love that guy. So, on to shooting. Zinch. Alright, so in the shooting phase, Celestine used her Ardent Blade to go ahead and destroy 1 Rubric Marine, so they are down to 3. And then the Exorcist on its last 2 wounds rolled a 4, so it took 4 shots into this squad. Rolled 3 2s and a 1, so obviously with no hit is no damage. But that was all the shooting for us, as we'll move straight to the assault phase. Okay, in the Sisters' turn 3 assault phase, Celestine did her job and took out the 3 remaining Rubric Marines, destroying that squad, while the Contemptor Dreadnought did his job and destroyed the Immolator that was back there. He has moved towards my Inquisitor, rather menacingly, but at the end of the round there is no morale checks to make. I do score Secure Objective 2, as I stated before, and I do secure the 1 point for holding the line. So we move on to Simon's turn 4.
Thousand Suns turn for movement phase and objectives. I discarded Psychological Warfare and I draw Aerial Denial and no prisoners. Actually, I just moved up the Dreadnought a little bit there, getting melter range to this exercise, and the rubrics went up for executing the Corpse Sprite finally. And yes, that's my movement. So we are going now to Thousand Suns turn 4 Psychic phase.
Just a little bit about Simon's strategy. He's hoping to get no prisoners, the D3, by destroying this Exorcist.
And also overwhelming firepower maybe can get, so...
My Saint, oh my. And then the Inquisitor as well. I think it's going to be a big ask to destroy all 3, but we'll see what happens here as we move to the Psychic phase.
Psychic first, Thousand Suns, turn 4. My Icon of Flame managed to strip a 2nd wound away from Celestine. No, first one was on the exercise, but the second one was on Celestine.
Still pretty good for 10 points.
Yes. I mean, mostly people don't like it, but I like it. And it's looking awesome. This sorcerer also managed to get smite through here over Celestine, also causing 1 wound. Fortunately, the Inquisitor couldn't ban it, so the Corpse Bride is just a 1 wound. Execution is waiting for her.
And so is Resurrection. Here we go.
So this is Thousand Sun shooting turn 4. The Dreadnought over there managed to explode this this exorcised and killing 3 more of the Seraphims, I think.
That's right, 3 more.
Then the Soul Reaper finished off the last one, and this 4 Infernal Bolters killed Celestine. She resurrected over here. The Combi Bolter of the Dreadnought unfortunately they managed no wounds, but the Bolters managed to make 1 wound. So probably I won't get no prisoners, D3, but at least 1 point for each, and hoping in the assault phase to finish things off.
All right.
So this was Thousand Suns turn 4 shooting.
Yep.
Turn 4 Thousand Suns assault phase. I managed to get there inside with the Dreadnought. Death to the False Emperor, 2 6s give me 2 more attacks, making 4 or 5 hits, 4 wounds, just wiping out.
It was a bloodbath.
The Inquisitor. He was just looking at the Siege Claw and he just like, take him, smashed him against the wall, everything is fine.
Not good.
So I didn't consolidate him, so actually I made, and there's also no moral phase.
Yep, because these sisters back here who lost 2 have a leadership. I think they have a leadership of 7, so I better roll for them. I took their sergeant out.
Yeah.
But as long as I don't roll a 6, they're good, and that's a 2. So
Yes.
morale is good. You want to talk about your scoring? It was a pretty good round for you.
I got overwhelming firepower. Unfortunately, just 1 point. No prisoners. I killed 3 units, so meaning I got for 2 points worth, and aerial denial. And then we have to check if something is 12-inch away. So when it's 12-inch away, then I get also D3.
What? That's crazy.
Where's the tape?
Before. Oh, goodness, where's the tape? So Simon's going to measure. I'm going to move this building real quick. The very center there. I don't think I might have anybody within 12.
Nope.
So that's another D3 for Simon. These with these cards.
3 more. So it's up to 5 over here.
Well done, Simon. All right, we'll go to the sisters' turn 4, and I'll draw my objectives. Okay, so before my movement phase, I should have mentioned I got behind enemy lines as Celestine resurrected behind Simon's enemy lines. Clever girl. And then so I drew secure objective 5, which is the far one back there by the last cannon. Advance, which is get all my girls out of my deployment zone. And then lastly, scour the skies. Unfortunately, Simon does not have any things that fly, so that's going to be really tough to get. But before the phase began, I went ahead and moved Celestine out of the ruins. She's kind of in cover behind this container. And then I used the second one when I rolled higher than a 2 to move those girls off of objective 2 as they're moving up to objective 5. So be back after the movement phase. Okay, for the sisters' movement phase, trying to score advance, we went ahead and moved these 2 multi-guns and the canoness out of the deployment zone. Along with this squad that's just been camping on objective 4 for the whole game, they're not out of my deployment zone. And these 3 girls who had moved forward earlier before the turn using their active faith have now secured objective 5. Celestine remained in place. I don't have any psychers left. Simon killed him with his dreadnought, so we'll go straight to the shooting phase. So in the shooting phase, I start with Celestine. She got 3 hits and managed to put 1 through and make it stick, so Simon did lose 1 rubric marine. And these girls, supported by the canoness, unloaded with one of their holy trinity, in this case the multi-guns, both hit, both wounded, and then rolled double 5s for the wound. So I've destroyed that dreadnought, which caused me so many problems. That's going to be a huge thing going forward. Matter of fact, we might be able to wrap this up pretty quickly as we move on to the assault phase. Okay, in the sisters' assault phase on turn 4, Celestine managed to make it into combat, didn't take any wounds on Overwatch. Only managed to kill 1 Marine as she did 3 wounds, and Simon made 2 5+ saves, so very good on their part. But when they attacked back, the regular Rubric Marines did a number of wounds on her, but she saved them all. And then with the stave, he rolled double ones, so nothing there. So when it comes to scoring, we went ahead and secured objective 5. And then we went ahead and successfully advanced, so I'll score 2 points there. It's a really tight game right now as we go into Thousand Suns turn 5. Thankfully for me, Simon only has 1 unit left, so it should get better for us. Okay, so for the Thousand Suns turn 5, there wasn't much for them to do for movement or psychic or shooting, so we did everything all at once. So Simon, you want to take us through what happened?
Yes, so first of all, Icon of Flame didn't manage to strip off 1 wound. Also Smites didn't cast off, so there happened nothing. The Warp Flame Pistol just got 1 shot, and you saved the wound. And the Rubrics didn't manage to get a wound, but the Force Stave managed to get 1 wound through Celestine. And Celestine stroked back, killing 2 Rubrics.
I did use a command point to try to save the wound from the Force Stave. It didn't work, so I still went through. You rolled a 1 for the D3. As far as your cards are concerned, you got Blood and Guts, which you didn't score. Secure Objective 1, which you will score. And then Priority Order Received to defend Objective 4. But
and Moral Phase is not available because I just lost 2 and they are Moral 8.
Yeah, so we'll see what the sisters can do in their turn. Up next. So before my movement phase, I got rid of Scour the Skies. That was doing me no good. Drew Mission Critical Objective, which is for number 6. Witch Hunter, so I got to kill that Psyker of Simon's, and then Secure Objective 3, which is going to be a long trudge for my sisters there, but we'll get it eventually. Before the movement phase, Active Faith was successful on them, so they moved 6 inches up in order to get closer to Objective 6. And then Celestine went ahead and took a wound back using her Active Faith, so she's in good shape. So there's not going to be any shooting phase. So I'm going to move, and then we'll go straight to Assault, and then we'll wrap it up after that. Okay, so turn 5, these girls rolled a 6 to advance and actually managed to take and secure Objective number 3. Well, as I had mentioned, these girls managed to move on to Objective 6 to secure that one for 2 points. In the Assault phase, Celestine went into Absolute Beast mode, killing 5 of the Rubrics. Matter of fact, Simon, you need a morale test for your Sorcerer. That might get me an additional point.
Nope.
He will stay, but did significant damage. We rolled a 1, which means the game ends after 5 turns. We have tallied up the score. It was a close game, but ultimately the Sisters of Battle emerged victorious, 14-12, I believe, Simon?
Yes, with the additional points for the secure objective stuff.
Yep, securing the objective and slaying the Warlord were key to our victory. It was really well fought, and it was a fun game, and we're going to wrap this up with some comments at the end, so stick with us. So that wraps up our second battle report for Warhammer 40,000 8th edition. This time got to see your brilliant Thousand Suns out on the board, and they are brilliant. And then, of course, my trusty Sisters of Battle, Adepta Sororitas. They got it handed to them last time against the Necrons, but they did super this time. I think the difference for me was Celestine. Clearly my MVP for the game. She really just dove into your lines.
Yes.
Managed to kill a bunch of Marines, and she resurrected just like she's supposed to. Got me some points there. And was all around just a beat stick like she's supposed to be.
Yes.
And that's why we call her the Living Saint.
Well, I still call her the Corpse Bride. But anyhow, I think the first key point was that you, as you said, she's a character killer. That she managed to get to this Exalted, making 7 hits on these attacks, on 7 attacks, and just killing him. He made, I think, out of this 7, he made, I think, 4 invulnerable saves, but unfortunately D2, damage 2, so yeah. He has just 5 wounds.
The Iron Blade is no joke, just like the rest of her.
Yes, no joke. So this crippled a little bit my abilities because, as probably you also know, Thousand Suns are relying on Psychic Phase, dealing these mortal wounds, buffing up units with prescience or warp time. So this is quite crucial for the Thousand Suns. next thing about the Thousand Suns is they are tough as hell. So Aldous Dust rule is awesome for all damage 1 weapons. Of course, if you have Plasma, you should overcharge it to negate this bonus, but you risk to blow you up. So that's always interesting, or always like a bet. My personal MVP was a Dreadnought. I mean, he just one-hitted all the time, everything almost.
Yeah.
Then
I tell you what, with the Dreadnought, if it wasn't for those 2 Melta-Guns, there would be no stopping them. So Melta-Guns are still good in 8th edition, again within 6 inches. Of course, mine were supported by a Canoness, which was also a very useful model this game. And thankfully they rolled well enough to destroy him, because as you and I were talking, had he managed to survive, even wounded, he could have continued to just wreak havoc throughout my lines.
Yes, definitely. Particularly killing models, giving the chance to resurrect on a 5-up, it's awesome. Well, still Melta-Guns, I mean, they're effective as you say, but my opinion still they're not reliable. Because first of all, you have to come into 16th range. Second of all, you have to buff them like with your Canoness. So that's 2 factors you have to include. So when we just watch Melta-Guns in a normal way without buffing, in my opinion, they're still not reliable, particularly against Toughness 8 stuff, because Toughness 8 wounding on force is still crucial.
They can be a command point sink too,
Yes.
because the upside of them is so good that when you miss that shot, you might be tempted to re-roll it, but then you still got a wound. If it's a Toughness 8 model, then you're only 50-50 on the wound, and then you got to do the D6 damage. So if you're not careful, they can definitely sink your command points.
Definitely. So, well, what I can talk about my list, I mean, the rubrics are, I think, at least on par with Tau in medium range firefights. Tau have the bigger or longer range and will have probably also rapid fire, but strength 5 AP nothing doesn't care for example, rubrics, because they will have 2-ups anyway. As I said, mid-range firefights, there is no army who can actually compete with them.
No, you're hitting on 3s, rapid fire, so when you get close range, it's just a ton of shots. Strength 4 is pretty good, and then that -2 AP is dangerous against vehicles, against characters, against infantry, against everything.
Anything, and particularly if you also have, if you can buff them with prescience, then hitting on 2s, then it's just really hilarious how much hits you just generate. And
Glad I didn't see that tonight.
yeah, because I used mostly my prescience for the Dreadnought, because unfortunately he doesn't get the rule of Aldous Dust, so hitting on 3s is still 66%, but it's better to have the almost 90%.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always doing this one. And yes, as I said before, killing my Exalted was a key role. Then second of all, well, let's say I talk about the Terminators, because a lot of people say Terminators or the Scarab Cult Terminators are not worth it, because they are with the loader of Hellfire and Soul Reaper, they are 263 points. But what did you get? What did you get? Do you get? You get 10 wounds. You get a 2-up armor save with +1 for where we have APs. So tough nut to crack.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing for me in the Terminators are they are drawing at least 1 round of whole firepower.
Yeah. And one thing that you haven't mentioned yet is you also get a Psyker with them.
Yes, a Psyker. So, and using, for example, the Stratagem Chaos Familiar, giving him warp time. So essentially you have like a jump pack, almost jump pack Terminators, which make them a little bit faster than normally. And well, most people will probably ask why I didn't just stand and shoot. Well, the thing is, the exercise is quite dangerous. D6 damage makes it. Yeah.
Well, no, D6 shots and then D3 damage for each one, but it's Strength 8, AP 1, or not AP 1 anymore, but AP -4. So it really does a job when you're rolling well.
Yeah, that's why I'm always trying to harass him. Actually, they are not meant. Scarab Cult Terminators are not meant for melee fights, but it was just my target just to keep him locked in combat, that he either has to fall back or stay or whatever. that this nasty thing just can't shoot.
Yeah, the Exorcist was in trouble from the beginning of the game. It did soak up some shots and whatnot, and made your Terminators followed around quite a bit until I could finally surround them with a bunch of melta guns. And that's the only way I got rid of them, was just through shooting a bunch of AP-3 weapons, AP-4 weapons at them. So I think they did their job, just like you said. Yes, it'd be better if you could have them shooting at infantry or something else, but they had a specific mission to do this game, and I think they did it really well before I killed them.
Yes, and I think the move with the warp time that I just used the stratagem for 1 command point, removing smite for warp time, I think it was cool.
Yeah.
And because 9 inches is still a long way to get there, and I just want to make sure that I get this exercise or anything which is like a threat. So what I can say about Thousand Suns, I also had a couple games before. Thousand Suns have actually 2 problems. The first one is mobility. They don't have a big mobility. The Aspiring has, I think, movement 6, and the rest just have movement 5. The Terminators have movement 4 instead of movement 5 than regular Terminators. And the Scarab Occult Terminator Sorcerer has movement 5. So first thing is you have quite a low mobility. So meaning you have to have like a compact line that you just don't go far away from each other. And the next thing is, we have to wait until the Thousand Suns Codex drops. Maybe GW will give something to us, but I don't think so. And we got already release in last Christmas, so I don't think there will be new models. But the next thing is anti-tank. The Thousand Suns lack something against tanks or high armor stuff. You just have the Hellfire Missile Rack, which also, it's strength 8, but still wounding on force, making 2 damage or D3 2 damage piece. A D3 damage piece.
D3, yep.
So also not reliable for tank hunting.
No, it's not gonna take down any Lehman Nurses anytime soon.
No, and for example, it is not forbidden, for example, taking on all your Terminators Hellfire Racks, but first of all, you don't have this much spruce or Hellfire Racks that you can put them on, and I think it's 20 something points or 30 points for a Hellfire Missile Rack, something between 20 to 30 points. So immediately your Terminators just get up. It's too pricey for what they do then. And yes, so that's actually the 2 points or the 2 weaknesses of the Thousand Suns. Morale can be an issue because they just have moral 8. So, but first you have to get to manage to kill those rubrics that you can force a moral
I don't
check.
think you failed any morale checks.
No.
You had to I think we made you make 2, and you made them both. So it was pretty sweet there.
So let's talk about your sisters.
So, like a lot of people commented when they first came out, they're a very competitive army right now against other index armies. My fear is, as we have more and more codexes released, they're going to fall behind very quickly again. And unless GW releases a codex for them as well, they don't have quite enough tools to be effective long term against some of these new codex releases. So I'm enjoying playing with them while I'm going up against a lot of other index armies, but overall I just don't think they have enough tools. The tools that they have are very good, but really when you talk about the minions now, they're not that much different from a regular line squad. And when you talk about Retributors, same thing, and when you get some extra heavy weapons there, but I don't think you're gaining enough with those unique things without any sort of stratagems to let them hold up long term. I thought the Exorcist is still really good, and the Immolators, while they underperformed tonight, they certainly did a better job of keeping my girls alive than the Ruins did the last game. So they are a must include in my list going forward. I think the Flamers on them are definitely the smart choice, given the fact that you just pack girls in there with multi-guns. So again, very enjoyable and tough, but we'll see how they do over the long haul.
Yeah, and what I also want to add about the Thousand Suns is, despite you can just cast specific spells just one time, you can still use a smite spam. Okay, you have the small smite, it's a little bit reduced. Well, we have to wait until the codex drops. We'll see what happens then. But still, I mean, you have everywhere an aspiring sorcerer, so and the icon of flame. Everyone hates them. I love them.
It's all fun and games until you perils, and then you take out your aspiring sorcerer and the 3 guys around them, and then you know, one of the things that we didn't talk about your list is you only had 2 command points.
Yes.
Obviously, it was a small game at 1,050 points, but because Thousand Suns are so expensive, I think it's going to be really hard for you to get and field the battalion detachment plus an air detachment in order to boost up those command points. So it's going to be interesting to see how you.
Well, I can boost this one, but first of all, I have to at least paint like 20 Zangors.
Yeah.
So this will give me a little bit melee power and just massing up, wrapping up something. But well, this will wait or will need time, of course. And well, I could also include demon ninjas, but I'm not to be honest, I'm not no, I'm not liking. I like them, but I don't think their shooting is not reliable enough. I mean, I'd rather like to take a Dreadnought Hellforged for almost the same thing, points like you take a Forge Wind with Hades autocannons and what else ever. You have a 2-up for shooting or heavy weapon 3-up in this case. I still go for the and the problem is why I just have 2 command points was that still we have to include fortual stuff as a chaos guys by auxiliary choice, meaning reducing 1 command point. I still don't know why this is like this one into any of its battle scribe or any other generator of lists. Technically, I think they're allowed by FAQ. Virtual, I think they made a FAQ that they technical allows them, but still it's not usable or you can't choose it. So, because for example, Necrons can still take the Terrasarch Orc as a fortual.
Yeah, look, I think you're okay just taking this part of the list, and maybe I'll show you on Battlescribe how you do that, because there's a way to do that. And maybe I cheated you from a command point. But I think we've been going on long enough tonight. We're going to stick with the Sisters' Victory, even if I cheated you a command point. A really good game, Simon. A lot of fun, as usual. And I look forward to the next one. You're painting right now your Thousand Suns.
Yes.
I'm painting Dark Eldar army up. That will be real fun to play once we both get some forces.
Particularly when 2 armies getting together, the one is mobile as hell and the other actually the opposite of this one.
Well, we won't be getting together. We're going to be dancing around far apart.
Yes, dancing, but I'm good in shooting.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, well, thanks for joining us. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit like on YouTube, and then go ahead and subscribe for more videos to come. So, good night.
Yes, and put comments below and just say something about your opinions about the 2 armies, what you want, or just give us hints when we maybe made somewhere a mistake or something. Just use the comments below, type us. We are reading all your comments and trying to, of course, to respond to them. So yes.
Yeah, so it's been great. We got a lot of armies to play here in the future, so stay tuned, and goodbye.
Goodbye.